injury. It's believed to be a season-ending torn ACL suffered in practice on Thursday. That's what a source told ESPN. The loss of Bakhtiari is substantial, folks. He is one of the 3 offensive tackles to rank in the top 10 this season in both pass and run block win rates. He's ranked in the top 10 in pass block win rates as a tackle in every season since 2017, as far back as that metric goes. So I want to bring back in our football team. And Diana, what more can you tell us about the injury?
Yeah, this was just awful, awful news for the Green Bay Packers and for Aaron Rodgers specifically. We know they've really hit their stride as a team over the last few weeks, and their offensive line has been really key in protecting Aaron Rodgers. They've done such a good job this season of protecting him, along with the fact that Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the best decision makers in the game at the quarterback position. But here is a little bit of good news for Green Bay. They've had to do this before in terms of moving their offensive line around with dealing with other injuries. So they've actually got the guys who can step in. You can't replace a guy like Bakhtiari, but the good news is they've had to shift and move before. So they'll figure out a way to patch up this hole. But again, a big loss for Green Bay here as they're trying to get home field advantage.
Okay, so glad you pointed that out. There is a way to make this work for them, even though it's obviously a huge blow. So, Bart, when you heard this news, what was your initial reaction?
It was tough, man, because when you think about how important the left tackle is, and you think about how great this Green Bay team was playing, you talk about this team is top 10 in everything, and run and pass, which is surprising. And you thought like last week they unleashed A.J. Dillon, and some fresh live legs. And, this is going to hurt them on both ends, because now you're going to ask somebody to slide over, and now that's going to keep tight ends in. And you're not going to be able to kind of let guys fly. He affects the pass protection, because, you can put him on an island and slide the offensive line the other way. So now Aaron Rodgers may not be as comfortable, have to get the ball out of his hands a little bit more. Maybe that running game suffers a little bit. And Rob knows this. When you're trying to win championships, you're trying to win in the playoffs. You want to pack your run game and your defense. And this allows Green Bay to do both, especially in those unfavorable, seasonal, conditions. And this is going to hurt them tremendously.
Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I think this might be a bigger blow than even a skill position, because, look, they have one regular season game left, and then it's a one-game season, to where a sack fumble, a big-time sack with the game on the line could end it. And I don't care. Anytime you're a starting outside linebacker, pass rusher, and the starting tackle goes down, you're licking your chops to go against the backup tackle. The guys that usually go in, yeah, they're probably serviceable and they can do a good job in spots. They're not going to be at the same level. You saw those blocking statistics on 8th overall in pass protection, 8th overall running block. Like, when you get a backup in there, it's just not going to happen. So, I mean, this could potentially be a position where you let up a big play and your season's over.
All week long, guys, we've been talking about how it seems like in order to get to the Super Bowl, you got to go through Green Bay. And I wonder with this news, Rob, I wonder with what you hear today, is there a team you like that can go into Green Bay and actually win?
Well, I think it's a team that's able to put up a lot of points. So if you have an offense that can take advantage of Green Bay's maybe lack of pass rush. I mean, you look at the Saints, obviously, they could put up some points. But Tampa, if they get hot, I feel like they can put up a lot of points as well. I get it. I know everyone's going to say, well, it's Lambeau and it's cold. But look, Tom Brady's played in some cold weather before. I can guarantee you that. I know that firsthand. So if you take Tampa and they get hot offensively and you protect Tom and keep him upright, they have a potential to be a team that goes in and could upset Green Bay.
Okay, guys, thanks so much. I got to tell you, hang out, though, because we got a lot more NFL to talk about. And I got to tell folks out there, coming up, one of my friends here that you just saw has a big 2021 resolution, and it's an apology to Tom Brady. What they need to say sorry about to Tom, that's coming up next. We're going to paint the picture of the playoff clinching scenarios out there. It's easy for the Washington football team. They win the division with a win on the road against the Eagles. Let's talk about the Giants. They clinched the NFC East with a win against the Cowboys. But here's the thing. They also need Washington to lose. It's the same with the Cowboys. They need to beat the Giants. They also need to see Washington lose. That Washington-Philly game is a Sunday night football game. So the last game of the year will decide the division. Exciting out there from a division that has been underwhelming all season. Guys, let's bring you back in. Diana, you mentioned this earlier. I just want to talk about this again. What's the latest on Alex Smith and his availability?
I've been trying to get some more information for you over the last hour or so, and a source shared with me that Alex Smith has done more the last 2 days at practice than the last 2 weeks combined. So he's taking first-team reps yesterday. There was video floating around of that yesterday. So that's, of course, just such a good sign. He is still dealing with that calf injury, but the source did add they are going to take this day by day. But all signs point to Alex Smith starting on Sunday night.
Okay, so that should be good news for Washington. Now, guys, I want to ask you this, but I just want people to keep in mind there is still a chance that a 6-win team wins this division. So, Bart, who wins this division for you?
I think it's simple. I think it's Washington. I think they're the best team in the division. I think if Alex Smith would have been the quarterback for the entire season, he would have been healthy, that maybe could have squeaked out 8 wins or 9 wins. He's a professional, and he's going against Philadelphia. Philadelphia has melded in. They have a lot of veteran guys. And as a veteran, Rob knows the last thing you want to be doing at the end of your season is having to get surgery because you did something in the last game that was meaningless.
All right, Rob, who you got?
Yeah, I agree with Bart. I think if Alex Smith can play in this game, he's going to take care of the football. I'm going Washington. I think that they're the best team. And if Washington, for some crazy reason, doesn't win, every team from the East should just be excluded from the NFC. Anything in the playoffs, they should add the Cardinals into it or the Rams, whoever's out of it from another division with a winning record. Let them get in the tournament so they have a chance.
All right, Diana, who you got?
All right, I got the Dallas Cowboys. They are so hot winning their last 3 games. Andy Dalton is playing some of his best football he's ever played. He's sort of had this rebirth in Dallas. Everything's new, even having an indoor facility. He was talking about that yesterday. He's like, well, I didn't really have that for the 8 years in Cincy, so it's pretty nice here. So he's enjoying his time in Dallas, and they're really starting to click. They're winning the turnover battle. And Ryan, I think the craziest part of all of this on Sunday is going to be, think about if Dallas wins. They're going to fly back to Texas, and they're going to be rooting for the Eagles. Can you picture Dallas Cowboys fans going E-A-G-L-E-S? Like, you're a Philly guy. That's absurd. They hate each other. So that's going to be really cool to see that happen if that does.
I can tell you, any Dallas Cowboy fan watching this show is going to say right now, never. Never will we do that. All right, guys, let's go on the clock. We want to get your New Year's resolutions in. It is the first day of 2021. Rob, I start with you. What NFL New Year's resolution do you have?
Well, I want the New Orleans Saints to get off the playoff woes that they've had in the past. You think about the Minnesota Miracle. You think about the no call in the playoffs against the Rams that sent them to the Super Bowl. I want to see Drew Brees go out there, probably his last season. I want to see him get a Super Bowl victory right off into the sunset, and he's a Boilermaker, so that's cool too. So boiler up, Drew Brees win a Super Bowl.
All right, Bart, what's your New Year's resolution for an NFL team?
For me, it's about the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, you talk about a million ways to die, choose one. A million ways to lose a game, choose one. They lose so many tough games, and they have a special young quarterback, I think maybe the best out of this class. They got to do a better job in figuring out how to win and surround him with enough talent. I don't know if Anthony Lynn's going to be there next year, but they need to figure it out because this guy's too special